My name's Phil.
Phil, hey Phil. Do you live in Southwark? How long have you lived here for?
Since February.
Oh wow, what brought you to the area?
My friend lives here, so I was just renting in his flat.
Okay, cool. And what do you like about the area?
What do I like? Being close to the river?
Oh, so you like the river?
Yeah, who doesn't, yeah.
What do you like about it?
It's a nice open space. You can see the city, you can look at the city, like capital C city.
And how do you use the river? Like... Sorry.
I don't go swimming.
Do you walk along the river or...?
Yeah, I walk along the river, yeah.
Do you go on a boat? Is it canal boats or...?
Haven't been on a boat.
River boats.
I cycle to and from work, so I cycle across the river. I like doing that.
And where does it take you, that river?
Well, I don't go on it. I'm going over it.
I know, but like when you go over it, like where are you going?
I'm going to the city.
Okay, to the city.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh wow. Okay then. So, what do you think? Has the borough sort of changed since you moved here in February?
Hasn't changed an awful lot since then.
Okay, cool. And
I retained the same MP in the election, so.
He's a local MP here.
His name. I just might have forgotten his name now.
Right.
He's the Labour MP for Southwark.
Yeah. And did you vote?
Southwark. Yeah, no, I did vote for him.
You did. And why did you vote for him?
Why did I vote for him? The other candidate was a Lib Dem candidate. He'd been there a long time.
Yeah.
He had some odd views on homosexuality. Which
right.
I was very
Okay.
happy with.
So it was time for a change, basically.
Well, no. We were keeping the guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see. Wow.
Yeah.
No, that's really interesting. And do you think it's important to vote and be an active member of the community?
Yeah. I would like to get more involved. I haven't been very involved, but I would like to get more involved. Yeah.
And in what ways do you want to sort of get involved with the community here in Southwark?
Maybe vote on infrastructure.
What kind of infrastructure? Transportation?
I live near Elephant Castle, and they recently redid that whole area. And I'm assuming there was some sort of consultation for that.
Yeah.
But there'll be other things that they'll change in the area.
And do you like that change around Elephant and Castle?
Yeah, no, they've actually done a really good job.
Yeah. And how have you benefited from some of the changes? In Elephant and Castle, have you benefited?
Well, they've introduced really much safer cycle routes.
Right. Okay then.
But not made it a roundabout anymore.
So as a cyclist, it's actually very good for you.
I don't know, for me, I'm a cyclist and I get a little bit confused going around Elephant and Castle because I know that it is safer, but then there's so many, it's just not a roundabout anymore. It's like this weird kind of semi-roundabout.
Right.
So I think there have actually been some accidents because people just don't know. And I think this is the case a lot with cycle routes, is that they put in these new cycle routes, but people don't know how to use them or where they go.
Right.
Like there's one north of the river, and it just ends, and you don't know where it goes. It just ends right onto the A13, and suddenly you're on this massive, super busy road.
Then. So in a way, you need to finish off the cycle route. Like, how does the cycle route start? How do you know you're on a cycle route?
Well, that's a good point. You don't really know. You just kind of discover them, I think.
Okay, do you have to go online and look at where the cycle routes are? Or
I just you sort of find them, don't you?
You just sort of find them.
you pick a route you want to take, and if there is one on the route, then you use it, don't you?
Yeah, and then what happens if there's no cycle lanes on your route? Like, what do you do?
Well, you cycle on the road, don't you?
You just cycle on the road?
Yeah.
And do you think there should be more cycle lanes? Like, where would you like to see more cycle lanes?
Well, I'd like to see more. To be honest, everywhere I go, it's pretty well covered.
Yeah.
So I'm quite happy.
Yeah. Do you think there's ways that the local council can support cyclists here?
They could make the cycle routes more consistent, particularly the ways that I take. It goes from being like something quite vague on a pavement to something protected alongside of a road.
Yeah.
So they could make them more consistent.
More consistency, yeah. That's quite interesting, this whole subject of cyclists and stuff like that. I mean, why did you start cycling? Like, what's wrong with public transport?
Well, you can be much more autonomous as a cyclist. It's cheaper.
Yeah.
You can decide when you want to go, where you want to go.
Yeah.
How fast you want to get there.
Right, I see. I mean, like, okay, what's the longest distance you travelled on a bike?
I cycled to Norway once.
Oh, really? Wow. Do you cycle? Do you cycle? Yeah, do you cycle? Yeah, come and have a seat. Have a chat with us. I'm quite interested to know, about let me get around the names.
I'm Phil.
Phil.
Mikey.
Dante.
Philemon.
Wayne.
I'm Ella, and this is Talkaoke. This is a pop-up talk show. At the moment, we're chatting about Southwark, and we're just talking about cycling. Phil here, he cycles around Southwark. He's cycled to Finland. That's the furthest place he cycled before. I mean, do you guys own a bike?
Yeah. I own a bike.
Yeah. And how long have you had that bike?
For 3 years.
What do you like about cycling then?
The quicker way to travel.
Yeah.
And it's better than the bus.
Really? Okay, that's a... Say you can have more fun. When you're ready to go, you just go. You don't have to download the sort of bus app on your phone and find out where the next bus is coming. And do you enjoy cycling around? Phil was saying that there needs to be more consistency, in terms of cycling around Southwark. Perhaps there could be clearer cycling routes. I mean, how do you find it cycling in Southwark?
I think it's safer around. It's safer, and it's friendly to the environment.
Friendly to the environment.
Yeah, and also I get to the place I want quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's this question about the autonomy as well. That you get to be your own boss. You're not. When I'm on the bus, I'm always like, oh, come on, get through those lights or whatever. When you're on the bike, you make the decision whether to go through the lights or not. It might be on amber or whatever. You just do it yourself, and so you're your own boss.
Hey. Yeah. Do you cycle? Do you have a bike? Oh, let's get a final thought from you before you leave us.
I think I've given you most of my thoughts, but yeah, we could...
Now, how do you see yourself living in Southwark in 5 years' time or 10 years' time?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, what's going to keep you here? What would you like to see change in Southwark?
What would I like to see change in Southwark? They could increase the tube coverage further south, like towards Peckham and stuff. Definitely, but everyone talks about that.
Okay, then. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time. Yeah.
Philemon doing it.
Yeah, so do you cycle as well?
I used to, but
you used to.
My parents said it was dangerous.
Oh right, okay. And what's dangerous? What would you? How can cycling become more safe in Southwark?
If there's a cycling lane in the road.
Right. If there's a clearer cycling lane in the road, do you think enough children cycle?
Yeah, I see enough children.
Yeah. And do you guys wear helmets or like what do you do to stay safe?
Just wear a helmet and wear proper gear.
Yeah. What is proper gear? Like what kind of gear?
Like protect your elbow and knee.
Yeah. So if you fall off the bike and stuff, you'll be protected.
I just want to come across to that wider sort of question of safety. Do people feel safe whether they're on a bike, or do you feel more safe?
Yeah.
Do you feel more safe on a bike or more safe walking along the street?
That's quite interesting, actually.
Which is more safe?
It's so true. Do you feel safer walking or on a bicycle?
Me personally, walking. No. Like cycling on a bike, because I'm riding faster instead of walking. Yeah.
What are some of the sort of dangers of walking?
Like someone can stop you.
Right. Okay. Then I see. What about yourself? Are you into the cycling?
I used to have a bike and cycle, but now I'm not as active as I.
As you used to.
Yeah.
Do you do any other sort of activities in the area other than cycling? Because cycling does keep you fit, right?
Yeah. Not really. I usually just cycle to where I want to be to get faster, get to the destination. Yeah, that's what I usually do.
Yeah. And what other things do you guys do other than cycling? Like, where do you take your bikes? Someone was saying earlier there's like a bicycle track, a BMX track. Do you guys go there? Do you guys know about it?
What?
Yeah, I know one place.
Yeah, whereabouts is it?
In Burgess Park.
Right.
BMX.
And do you have a BMX bike, or is it?
No.
What other things do you guys do? Do you sort of hang out in the shopping centre? Like, what do you do when you're not at school?
When we're not at school, we try to get out and be active. Personally, our mums would think we're very lazy or we're laid back at home playing consoles. So it's quite good for us to come out of the house and do something worth our time. Like, for example, go to the football pitch, something like that, or just meet with other friends.
Yeah, and how can Southwark Council sort of support young people getting more active and healthier in the borough?
There's I think they need to make more youth centres.
Right. Okay.
There's quite a lot, but maybe in areas that are for people that are quite laid back and set.
Right. And where do you live?
Around Bermondsey.
Oh, you live in Bermondsey. And do you all live in Bermondsey?
No, I live in Camberwell.
Camberwell.
Yeah, I live in Bermondsey too.
Oh, you live in Bermondsey too. So, is it that the council need to sort of like advertise the youth clubs? Like, what do you think would be a great way to sort of let other young people know about youth clubs and stuff like that?
Personally, I think that the council should like try to probably put pressure on parents to like get their children out of the house.
So it's more about encouraging the parents to sort of. And what way did your parents encourage you to sort of be more active?
They told me that if I go to youth clubs, then it's going to benefit me because I know that me going out, I'm being more active and that's what is really important because staying at home just isn't really healthy.
Right, okay then, Why not though? I mean, you can go on the internet, you can talk to people on the internet. Why do you need to go out and like, I mean, what's the point, you know?
I mean, do you think because we were at Elephant Castle last week and there was this idea that was coming across that a lot of the older people thought younger people were lazy. Can you mention this idea a bit? Is it true or is it just a sort of myth? Because that was a big discussion last week. I don't know, what do you think about it? Do you think that young people are lazy or do you think it's just a false perception that older people have got? Because you mentioned lazy, didn't you? I didn't quite hear what you said because...
That's a good question. Are young people lazy?
No, not all young people are lazy. It's only like the ones that are more privileges. Like, you see when your parents buy you like new gadgets and stuff, you have no reason to go outside.
So whenever you get the latest gadget and stuff like that, you know, you end up becoming lazy. You don't have to fight. What do you think? Are young people lazy? What do you think? Are you lazy? What kind of things do you do to sort of? Do you ride a bike?
No, young people are not lazy. It's just a stereotype. That's it.
Yeah. And if you were like a member on Southwark Council, what would you do to like make sort of I don't know, activities more appealing to young people? Like if you could make this, you know, if you were a member of Southwark Council, what changes would you make to the area?
I think that the council would like have to give out letters of schedules of what's happening at youth clubs in their area that they live in. So it'll probably be better because then they can tell their children what they need to do and where is it going to be and what they're doing as well.
So growing up, where do you live again?
In Camberwell.
Camberwell. So in Camberwell and Bermondsey, have you seen much changes taking place?
Yeah, I've seen like the council have put in. Hey, film talk.
No, that's all right. Yeah, you're allowed to talk. This is Talkaoke.
Like, I think there's lots of new changes in Camberwell. Like now they're building more houses for people to move in.
And what about yourself? What kind of changes are you seeing in Bermondsey?
You see them think. You know, you can get free data, free calls.
You can get free data.
Yeah, build them tool things.
Oh, okay gadgets. Then. So that's quite useful for you. You can get, you know, you don't have to like worry about topping up and stuff like that. You can just get it for free.
Yeah.
Wow. And do you feel a part of the change? Do you think that change is just happening around you? Do you feel like you have a say in the change happening in your area?
Personally, I think we do because there's been times where parents have tried to like get their children out and then they've been talking about like there needs to be change, but now there's more football pitches and youth centres and stuff like that. And
so you've seen the results of like people going out there and asking for things and it actually happening.
Yeah.
So what impact does that have on you? Do you feel like in the future you might want to, I don't know, get into local government, or you know, like, do you feel sort of empowered to sort of make changes yourself, or?
Well, yeah, because as we progress, as children progress, as we are like future, well, we're gonna find out new things and stuff that maybe might help to the community and society.
What do you think of some of the new houses? You mentioned the fact that they're building new houses around you. Would you like to live in one of those? one of those houses?
Yeah, they look refurbished and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They don't look like the older houses what's it called, like most of the windows are broken. The lifts stink. They barely work.
Yeah. And how do you feel when you're in that kind of housing? When the windows are broken, the lifts don't work, how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel a little bit unsafe.
Yeah.
Because like there's what happens if somebody breaks in or somebody or something like that.
What about yourself? Where do you live now in Bermondsey?
Near Jamaica Road.
Near Jamaica Road. And do you feel safe in that area?
Yeah, it's alright. It's a good area.
It's a good area. Oh, cool. Do you guys live in Southwark? What part of Southwark do you live in? Bermondsey or Jamaica Road? Yeah, whereabouts do you live? Come and give us a minute of your time. So, wow, so you actually feel like safer. So you kind of see yourself living in one of the new blocks that they're building then. You'd like to move into one of them. What about in 10 years' time when you're like 20? Do you think you're going to still be living in Southwark?
Depends. I'm not sure.
Yeah. What kind of things does it depend on?
Depends, yeah.
It depends on jobs that we get. How are we doing our education right now?
Right. And what kind of jobs do you think the job that you want to do is available in Southwark?
Personally, I don't think so.
And what job do you want to do?
I was thinking about being an engineer.
Oh, we've had a few people who want to be that. What kind of engineer?
Mechanical.
Mechanical engineer. Okay then. I mean, there's a lot of new constructions being built. Is mechanical? Do you think you could work on one of those construction sites, or? What does mechanical engineering involve?
Well, you need to be good at science and maths and the basic foundations to help you get good grades in your GCSEs.
Yeah. That's really interesting. You know, what kind of things do you think, like, at home, what kind of things do you need to be happy within your home?
A phone.
A phone. How many, what about, like, in terms of, like, do you need a bathroom, or how many rooms do you need? How big does it need to be? What about windows? Do they need to be big or small, or?
Big, so, like, when it's hot, you can take, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, me personally, I would like a 5-bedroom house.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know when, like, imagine, if your friends come in, and you don't want them to sleep on the sofa. You would like them to have their own room to do their own things. So, and I would like my windows, like, kind of big like these. Yeah.
Why do they need to be so big? Like, why do you need all of that light?
You know.
Could you convert, like, an area like this into, would it be like a sort of living room or something like that? Because one of the things we've got Rick out back here who's visualising some of the ideas that come out in the conversation. Maybe Rick could visualise this space as your living room, and we could see what it looks like. Rick, can you do that? He's working on, so maybe you can do it. But you know, if we can just say to Rick what this space would look like.
How would you like your 5-bedroom house to look?
What's it called? That's like a normal home with what's it called? Okay, with good Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Like, that's the normal stuff. And I would like what's it called, my own place, like an office, somewhere I could just be myself.
Oh, so like you want to have an office space?
Yeah.
And a place where you can be yourself. Oh wow. So, what do you mean be yourself?
Like, what's it called? Sometimes you just wanna chill with your guys, innit? So, you know, like.
You want to have like a relaxation space. What would be in that space then?
Like the Wi-Fi box.
You've got to have the Wi-Fi.
The Wi-Fi box is going to be in there. And like a desk to do your work, a TV, TV and a console.
Yeah.
And like what's it called? A little like a mini fridge where you could get food and stuff.
Ooh, this is sounding good. I think I might want to move in. When you get it built, let me know. Hey guys, I mean, are you guys from Southwark? Whereabouts are you from? Give us a minute of your time. Come and let us know. Wow, so that's really interesting that you want all of those things in your house, you know? So where are you from then? Oh, really? Wow, you look quite hot. You look quite warm actually, I don't know. You know? Man's not hot. Hey.
Can you be?
So I think more people should start cycling because it'll get them fit and it'll get like lose a few pounds. Yeah, that's what I think.
So what changes would you like to see in Southwark?
I just like to see more clubs opening up, so young children can just get involved.
And what about yourself? Any other comments on anything we've heard today?
Well, parents just need to motivate the children to come out of the house and do stuff.
Yeah.
Like get active, because now there's so much social media and children are just...
It's the responsibility of the parents.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Great, guys. Hey, guys, what do you think? I mean, do you think young people are lazy? Do you think young people need to be more active and, get themselves out there? What do you guys do? Oh, hey, how's it going? Oh, hey, perfect. I had some nice chicken from you guys earlier. Yeah. Oh, thank you. I like yours. Thank you. Yeah, gluten-free. Yeah, thank you. It went down well. What's your names?
Rihanna.
What's your round names? What's your name?
Maureen.
Oh, Maureen. We got Lynn. We got Mikey.
We got Kenny B.
Kenny. I'm Elam. This is
Rihanna, yes.
Riri. Yeah, so this is Talkaoke. Sorry, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. This is a pop-up talk show called Talkaoke, and at the moment we're just talking about Southwark. We're talking about how great Southwark is.
I don't think this is working actually. I'm
Oh, really? Oh, no.
Because it's interfering with the shop.
Oh, right. Okay.
That problem before.
Right, so it's happening again.
Just give us that thing. So you just got
I don't know, I think you guys have the right face.
Use that mic.
Yeah, you guys have the right face for what I'm saying. So, do you guys live in Southwark? Are you from Southwark?
Southwark.
What part of Southwark are you from?
I'm from Peckham area.
I don't live in this borough.
Oh, where do you live?
Westminster. I just work here. Yes. I'm in Borough.
Oh, you're actually in Borough. Oh, that's kind of cool.
She's very central.
Queens Road? Yeah.
Oh, you live in Queens Road, Peckham?
Yeah. Queens Road, Peckham.
What do you like about Queens Road? What do you like about Queens Road, Peckham?
Yeah, I like the connectivity there. Concerning the bus, train stations, though I would love to have an underground, but there's none around there. Yeah, so I wish if we could have, there's one there, yeah.
I mean, even though you live in Westminster, it's a neighbouring borough to Southwark, right? Have you grown up in Westminster and have you grown up in London? I mean, what do you think about some of the changes that you've seen and taking place in Southwark?
What's been going on around here? Well, it's very diverse around here. A lot of people, and I know they're building some like the flats over there, like these skyscrapers. So I'm seeing more houses, which is cool.
What do you feel about when you see like another skyscraper go up? When you see another, okay, all right. When you see another,
one's not interfering with the other.
When you see another skyscraper going up, like, what do you think? How does it make you feel?
My job one day.
Oh, great. Oh, wow. Is that what you want to do, right?
I'm going to do.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
And how are you going to go and do that then?
I'm going to go on a training for 2 weeks, obviously. That's what I have to do. And then I'll be building your houses soon.
And who is the training with?
With Bobby Beveridge. Bobby Beveridge, that's what they call it.
And wow, that sounds really interesting. What made you decide to go and do that?
Yeah, tower crane. I can't wait. Well, what makes me want to do it? Basically, my good friend's husband is a tower crane driver, and got to talking, and I was thinking, no, I could do that too. Why not? It looks like fun. Why can't I do it too? So I'm gonna try and give it a shot. Yeah. It'll be fun. And I'll be all the way up in the sky, so I'm a bit nervous, but I can't wait.
So I love your enthusiasm. You're so enthusiastic about it, right? So often we're looking at the changes happening, but we don't think, we can actually be a part of that, right? That's really cool. And what area would you want to work in? Do you have an area of London or the world that you'd like to work in?
Not the world, but the city, obviously. I want to work in Canary Wharf. I wouldn't mind just being there, just looking at the money, just like, oh, look where I am. Looking at the bankers. I'm like, hey guys, check me. But yeah, that's me.
You're definitely not scared of heights then, that's for sure.
No, I like roller coasters.
Yeah, oh wow, I'm loving this. And what about yourself? Like, what do you feel about some of the changes? Do you feel like you're a part of the changes that's taking place in Southwark?
Yeah, because I've got 2 kids. So one is 4, one is 16 months. So recently in Barra, they're refurbishing a park. So that's something closer to home, and that's really nice. So can't wait for it. It's going to be, Main Street. It's going to be done in March. So at least that's something that's going to benefit my kids and me. So you've got kids, you need a park. You need them, and I've got kids that are very energetic. So they need to stretch their legs. So parks are my thing, yes.
People were saying earlier that you don't really need to go outside because you've got everything you want in the house. I mean, if you want to go to a park, you can just put on some virtual reality glasses and go to the park, So
Vitamin C, man. Vitamin D. Is the vitamin D? That sunshine. You need it. So yeah, go outside.
And what do you think about some of the changes that's happened in? Oh, do you need to?
Yeah, no.
Oh, wow. Thank you for stopping by. Let me get some final thoughts from you guys before you go. I mean, 5 years from now, how do you think? How do you think the area is going to change? And are you optimistic about the change?
Oh, I'm not sure how this area will change. Yeah, obviously we've got a lot of more stores obviously opening, and just in the shopping centre alone. Like obviously this opened last year. I remember when this opened. We've got Next in our Tesco now. So obviously they've got quite a few stores opening.
And what kind of things would you like?
More jobs, obviously.
You live on the border of us.
Yeah, yeah.
What kind of things would you like to see in the area?
What would I like to see? I haven't even thought about it. That's a good question, though. It's a good question. What would I like to see?
Space.
Space? No, I don't really mind the space. Everything's okay, to be honest. I don't even know. Maureen, you live here, you know. What do you want to see around here?
What would you like to see?
I don't know. Well, build the houses, that's fine, but plant trees around the houses, so it's a bit homely. I'm kind of a homely person, so...
There's a lot of new buildings. They're not, balancing that out with more trees and greenery and stuff like that. Why do we need more trees and greenery with the new houses? I mean, can't we just buy our own plants?
You need oxygen to breathe. The trees are going to help you out. So you need the fresh air. You need that. And when summer is here, you will wish there were trees. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to sit here. And good luck. I can't wait to look up and be like, oh my God, I know that girl. Yeah. All right, thank you very much. And let us know how it goes. We'll be here all day.
Give us a wave when you're up there on the crane. Have they got a horn you can? Have they got a horn you can beep, so you can beep the horn, so you can?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Wow. God, what an interesting conversation. I mean, how long have you lived in the borough?
About 5 years plus.
5 years plus. And has it changed? What drew you to the area initially?
Yeah, Southwark is trying, and I think they are really giving back to the people living in the Southwark. But having said that, I spoke about the housing more because
the housing.
Yeah, the housing, because talk of the housing, I believe that. The Southwark is really trying. Their house is very good, and the heat and stuff like that.
What do you like about the housing in Southwark? What do you like about the housing in Southwark?
Yeah, it's clean, and the heating is good, and also the lighting, the environment is well lit. So that makes me to love their good work.
So it's great lighting, it's clean. We got a new face at the table. What's your name?
Mickey Dunn.
Yeah. Do you live in? This is Talkaoke, and this is a pop-up talk show. We're talking all about Southwark. People seem to really love Southwark around here, which is really great, actually. I mean, are you from Southwark?
Born and bred, yeah. 54 years old, and I've lived here all my life.
Wow. What made you stay in Southwark?
All my family here. I love the area. Millwall area. Big Millwall fan. No, kind of everything, that's right. But yeah, I love the area. I don't think I'll ever move out.
What do you think about, so has it changed much in the 54 years that you've been living here?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest changes are the people that live here. I mean, it's so widespread communities now, all different communities. A lot of that is positive, some of it is negative, but it's still a good place to live, yeah. It's thriving, new buildings going up everywhere.
Yeah, and do you feel a part of the change?
In all honesty, not always. Yeah, not always. I think a lot of the people that have been here a long while don't seem to go out as much. They should get out and get amongst the communities and get involved more. There's a chance to get involved. You just need to get out there.
I mean, why is it that people aren't getting involved as much as you think they should?
I'm going to be a real downer here and say that a lot of people are scared to go out overnight because they fear gangs or they just don't know other communities. So they don't mix. And if you don't mix, you're shut behind your curtains and behind your front door.
Yeah. So people are fearful of the communities and stuff. I mean, what can maybe the Southwark Council do to sort of like, break some of those perceptions that people have about violence and different communities?
I think they need to just get out and talk to people more. They put leaflets through the door. Occasionally you get a leaflet through the door, but get out and talk to people on the doorstep and just allay their fears and talk to people and listen to them. So it's a good thriving community if you get out there. Yeah.
You get out there and, so.
I mean, I think one of the things I think you touched on, which I think is really crucial, is that kind of fear factor. And it's not a big fear, it's like a small fear of like, oh, will I say the wrong thing or something like that, when it comes to mixing with other communities, and am I welcome, am I not, all of these things. Also that, I wonder if there's anything that can be done to sort of bridge that gap and make it less frightening to actually get involved in other things going on in the community. It might not be your own community, but, I think people are always worried, oh, am I really welcome here? Do you know what I mean?
And realistically, when you do get out there and talk to people, your barriers come down because everybody's friendly. It's only a small percentage and every community has that, but on the whole, it's a good community here. You just need to just take a little chance, just talk to people, get out your front door a little bit more.
I'm quite interested to know, was there ever a time where, a lot of the new communities came in and you kind of felt like, oh, I don't know how to relate? What did you do to sort of open up? I'm assuming you talk to these different communities now.
Years ago, when I was a teenager on Peeps Estate where I grew up, the Vietnamese community were the first big community that came to the area, and we got to know them through organising nights and various sessions at the youth club on the estate. They came in and mixed with us, and we had some good things going, different teams, volleyball, football. We had a group that had a Vietnamese kid in it. So a youth club is always a good start. Get the youngsters involved early on, and the youngsters should hopefully go home, talk to their parents and get them involved.
I see. That's a really interesting point, actually. So you're saying from a young age you were able to, youth clubs is what really helps you learn and understand about different communities.
So last thing I will say before I leave you is get these youngsters from other communities to understand what Millwall Football Club's all about. They can go down Millwall and get involved. Lots of
Millwall, because you've got they hate us and we don't care. Is that right? Because it sort of gives the sort of impression that Millwall's, I know that it's a tough club, and traditionally my team has not been on great relations with Millwall, but at the same time, does that sort of diminish what actually Millwall is doing in the community? It's got this kind of hard reputation, and is it really the right to moving forward? Because I know Millwall is doing a lot, and it is actually quite friendly.
Millwall have won so many awards for their work in the community, so many awards, but they've still got this old reputation, and it's slowly the old timers down there are still there, still with their prejudices, but I would say a bigger percentage of people are open and they talk to other communities, they get involved at the community centre and in the community. So go down Millwall, it's a good way of integrating with the community.
So you're saying like the football club is actually a really great way of like getting people talking to each other. That's really interesting.
Everything. They do some excellent work. They're really, really good. And they're an asset. I think they're a serious asset to Southwark.
Anything like that, youth clubs, football clubs, anything like that, all good starting points for all communities to get involved.
How do you think your life would have been different if Millwall wasn't here? If there wasn't a football club and you didn't have that team, like what impact has that had on your life?
Big impact because my children support Millwall. I've took them down there over the years. So my other interest in the area, pie and mash shops. I'd have to get fat eating pie and mash. I play football. I play all different sports. So over the years we've had different sports clubs in the area. Some of them are shut down. So sports clubs are always good to get involved in all. So.
Do you think like staying active and healthy has been on your life?
What? Sorry, say that again.
What impact do you think like staying active and doing loads of sports has had on your life? Do you think it has a positive impact or do you think you need to sort of be healthy, or?
No, you need to stay active, because if you don't, you're going to sit indoors and meet no one and do nothing. Get out there, talk to people, meet people.
That's so interesting. It's all about getting out there and being active. Thank you so much for your time. Wow, that was such a great contribution.
Yeah, just a little bit more. Like I said about heating, I wish they could come about with a modernization on heating, like fixing on the control on the radiator, so that you can, if you want like to light high, then you can lower it. You get what I mean? So the control needs to be fixed on the radiator.
So you're saying that the actual ways to heat the house need to be modernized?
So modern one, so that they can modernize it, sort of. Then one thing again is like their housing, because I know Southwark really they are trying. But I noticed something about the maintenance. For instance, this will make them to save more money in terms of maintenance. When there's a little wear and tear, probably in the hallway, stairs, carpet, and sort of. When there's kind of a thing, when it's just happened little before it started going.
So you're saying maintenance is really important, because a little thing, if not handled and dealt with, it turns into something so much bigger. I mean, what do you think you can do as a resident to sort of get the heating modernized?
I think is back to the Southwark. It's back to Southwark, like the radiator they are using now, the present radiator they are using now is still okay, but it's just a matter of modernizing it to like fixing the control on it, so that you can as well higher it or lower it, so that you fit to your own need. Not necessarily to just anytime you put it on with so high or too yellow.
It needs to sort of be more variable. The heating needs to be more variable. Well, that's so interesting. I mean, do you live in Southwark? What do you think about? How do you find it living in Southwark? How long have you lived here?
Have you got a final thought?
Oh, do you have a final thought?
The final thought again, I would say is like I think it's not really down to Southwark generally, but it's down to, I think I would say, London generally, by commercializing everything, every single thing is not good for the citizen for the resident of UK. Because this is kind of, making your citizen or the resident of UK generally, one, let me say, for instance, the owner of a car, buying a car in UK, you're already paying a lot on the taxes, insurance, and stuff like that. But come to think of the parking space, is extraordinary milking day.
You got a car, it's expensive, but then you still got to pay for the parking space.
For instance, before, most of the roads were like free parking, but these days they are just coming up of commercializing every little spaces, every roads, even so-called where you have stations. For example, the what's it called, the train stations. That when you are going to your work, you can as well bring your car around, then park it, then go join the train. But these days, most of the streets they are coming to commercialize them.
Right. So anyway, it needs to be more community orientated, and
But you're saying that's in a way down to the mayor of London or somebody bigger to actually put the brakes on this commercialising London and make it just go a bit more community and a bit less commercial. So it's really up to the mayor and people like that. A lot why I kind of sort of can see that, because it's the whole of London really is going that way.
Gosh. I mean, thank you very much. I really appreciate you taking your time out to sort of get involved with the conversation. Come and join us. This is Talkaoke. You know, is that Millwall? What flag is that around you?
Yeah, I'm going to go if I'm cold.
Okay. What football club is it?
It's Millwall Football Club.
Oh, right. We were talking about Millwall earlier, about how great it is for like the community and stuff like that.
As a fan, we ain't great. We just got the support.
Do you guys support Millwall? Come and join us. This guy does. Apparently it's great for the community, but not great if you're a fan.
Well, it is because they're not that good at football. They can focus on things like community, and then at least they could be good at something. Do you know what I mean?
This is Talkaoke. It's a pop-out talk show. We're talking about Southwark. We're talking about how great Southwark is. Do you like living in Southwark? Give us the 60 seconds of your time. Yeah, this is your opportunity to voice your opinion about it. I mean, do you like living in Southwark? Are you from here?
Yeah, I'm just around the corner, literally.
Okay. Yeah. What do you like about this area?
Give me a sec. No, literally.
So I used to live around here, and it has changed. It's about probably 10, 11 years ago, and it has changed quite a bit in that time. But the question is it a change for the better, or is it actually? I mean, you've got the overground and stuff like that, which we used to just stop at Whitechapel, but now obviously it's much more useful. I don't know. What do you think?
What do you think? Has the area changed for the better?
No, well, the area, the houses and all that have been upgraded, but the people haven't. The people haven't, yeah. They can change as much as they want, but you can't change the people.
Can you upgrade people though? Maybe you can upgrade the people as well. Do you know what I mean?
Well, with a decent education and certain things in place, there's no youth centres or anything like that in place for young people nowadays, so what have they got to do?
Do you want to go to a youth centre?
No, I'm 23.
Hey, but aren't you still a youth? Aren't you still young? Do you go to youth centres around here? Come and join us. Let us know what you like to do in your spare time.
I've got to go though, because they're going to lodge me. Alright.
So you said that like it's great, you really like the changes, but it's just the people that aren't changing. So what can you do to help make the people change? And why do they need to change? What's wrong with the people here?
They've got nothing, literally. There's nothing in place for young people nowadays to do. So
what about people your age? You're 23. Like what's life like for you?
People my age, we're here just to fucking struggle. Literally struggle. Because no, we can't afford a house, we can't afford certain things, and we end up living in parents' houses till we're 25 and that, and then you have to meet a bird or something like that.
So I mean, but like, what can the council do or the government do to sort of support people like you who are struggling?
Nothing. Because I've asked them for help countless of times, and literally for someone that works, no disabilities, nothing like that.
What kind of support do you need?
Just housing advices. Young people, they don't know about taxes at all. No one teaches them about that, so there's nothing in place. So basically, you leave school, you go to a job, and nothing. You got nothing.
Yeah. So I mean, if there was if you wanted, what is the key issue that you want dealt with like now?
Something for the young people, the younger generation, so they don't end up with nothing, and then they have to follow the same paths, break the cycle, basically. Yeah, literally. But thank you. See you later.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, what's your name? You got a new face at the table. What's your name?
Hello, my name's Kevin.
Hey Kevin, how's it going? This is Talkaoke. It's a pop-up talk show. Come and join us. We're talking about Southwark. Do you live in Southwark?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
How long have you been here for?
All my life. I've always lived in Southwark. Always lived in Peckham. Yeah. Born and bred. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you support Millwall?
No, I'm a Gooner.
Oh gosh. How come? Why?
It was the first team I ever went to see, so I stuck with them. Don't go anymore. Used to go all over the place with them, but not anymore.
And do you think the area's changed much in the years that you've grown up here?
Yeah, it has. It's gone through a period where it was a little bit downtrodden. It's become a bit more upmarket now, which brings its own problems.
So do you think the change has been for the better, and do you feel a part of that change?
I don't necessarily think the change has been for the better. Some things have got better, but other things have got a lot worse.
What kind of things have got better?
I suppose there's less issues around crime, maybe. That's the one thing I would say maybe has got better. But financially, it's become so expensive.
So how, for you, I mean, what part of Southwark do you live there?
In Peckham.
You live in Peckham, and in what ways has it got expensive? Is it transportation, housing? What ways? Food costs? What ways has it become more expensive?
It's housing. Housing is the issue. I know you was talking to the chat just now about housing, and I think the problem is we've got the people who control the housing are the people who are making the money out of the fact that housing is how it is. When you've got politicians who own several homes, they're not going to build houses because they want to maintain a low wage. Exactly, they want to. They want to keep that private rented sector.
I mean, it's affecting us all, but what's the answer to it? How do we actually get those rent prices down? What do you think the answer is? It just about building more houses? Who's going to build the houses, and who they're going to be available to as well? So that's my question, because I agree with you, but what I'm not sure about is what the actual answer is in terms of getting the prices down now that they're at that level. Do you know what I mean?
That's a really good question. Come and join us. This is Talkaoke. We're talking about Southwark. So what's your name again?
Sorry?
What's your name again?
Kevin.
Kevin says that Southwark, some of the change has been good. There's been a drop in crime rate. However, it's just become more expensive. Housing is. Where are you from? What's your name?
James. I'm from Bethnal Green, East London.
I'm Lauren from Bethnal Green too.
Hey, how's it going, man? I went Rains Foundation, do you know?
I mean, it's a similar thing in Bethnal Green. If anything, it's even more expensive. It's like you can't get anything around there at all.
So we got
Lauren.
James.
So, I mean, you said that you're not from around here. What brought you to Southwark today, then?
We're working around the corner at Printworks.
What are you doing?
Security.
Okay, what are you securing?
The people coming in.
The legal rave that's happening in Printworks.
Oh, so there's an illegal rave in Printworks?
It happens every time.
So if it's illegal, how come you guys are it's a legal rave? What time is it, and why does it...
Starts at 5 and finishes at 3.
Why does it need to be a legal rave? If it's just a rave, it's just a rave, right?
Security guards there, working there.
Yeah. What do you think of the people going into the...
Makers of really...
What kind of music is it,
It's techno, house, it's just techno and house.
Do you think there needs to be more legal raves in all across London?
No. Not really, no.
I mean, have you been to Southwark much? Do you... Yeah.
Let's just going on to that. What do you think about the cost of housing? Because it is the same issue in Bethnal Green. Is it too expensive? And me and Kevin were talking about it, and it was like, what can actually be done about it? What's the answer to making it cheaper?
See, I was just in Czech Republic. When was it? Monday I come back, and I was there for a month. And housing there to rent a proper flat is 21,000 crowns, which works out about just over £1,000 a month. And that's the rent. But then in East London or anywhere like that, it's like a lot just for even to share a room. It's like £700 a month. So.
What do you think needs to be done to sort of
just people's needs and what they want. They just need to work around that and build up a relationship with the community and understand what we want in a way. Because otherwise, you don't know what someone wants. And then that's how we struggle, and then that's how people become homeless and people don't have a family, because everyone thinks they're starting to disown them in a way.
Yeah, so people feel unwanted. People feel really unwanted and stuff like that. I mean, what about yourself? Do you feel like you're kind of wanted in the area? Do you feel like you're a part of Southwark still, Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. Give us a final thought before you go.
I just think people should think about other people before thinking about themselves.
Thank you.
See you later.
I work in the NHS, and it's getting to a point now where it may well be that I will need to move outside of London to be able to carry on living. So I'm being forced out of the place where I've lived for the last 45 years. That will then bring in difficulties in getting into work. So that the two main issues that I find now is certainly one of the things that's changed with Southwark is that people don't live together anymore. So people, back in the day, you'd have relatives all living down the same street or all very close by. Everything's fractured now, so you can't just drop your kids off next door or whatever to have someone look after them while you go to work or whatever. And it also means that whenever there's a train strike or anything like that, no one can get to work. Back in the day, again, you could pretty much walk to work or you was within a reasonable distance of work. You can't do that now.
So you're feeling that, like, even though you work for the NHS, your future may not be in Southwark because it's so expensive now. Wow, I mean, what are people doing anything to sort of fight against the increase in the house prices? Like, what do you know if people are doing it? I mean, you work for the NHS, so is there not like a housing for you, as a key worker in a way, I guess? I mean,
I get some advantages as being a key worker, but it's still not enough. It's still far too expensive. What needs to happen is we need to build more houses. We need to control rents. So I would certainly go for a rent cap. I would maybe put a limit on how many houses an individual can own. Therefore, and things like that. They need to convert a lot of little buildings that are, derelict shops and things like that. Change them, convert them into housing because people need somewhere to live.
So you're saying there is a few empty spaces that can actually be converted into housing. I mean, people have been saying there's a lot of like new buildings going up, shooting up. I mean, isn't that housing? Isn't that housing that we can all live in? I mean, they are building, but who is it for, I guess?
No, and there's that point as well, and I think there is a lot of very expensive housing that most people can't afford. But I'm just, because you say you work in the NHS, I'm slightly concerned that the NHS in central London is going to run out of people, because I've got a friend who's a nurse, and they're struggling to recruit nurses, and this is in Brixton. There's only like one nurse when there's district nurse when there's supposed to be 5 there. Yeah, there's no more nurses, so that one nurse is seriously overstretched. Is it going to just get worse, and are we going to just run out of the essential NHS staff, and then what's going to happen? I don't know. Do we need to have that so that people take the issue seriously?
Well, I mean, what do you think about that point?
Well, I think it's partially, I think it's a deliberate policy of the government because they want to privatise the NHS anyway. So to privatise something, you've got to run it into the ground, make it not fit for purpose, and then you can turn around and say, well, this is the only way we can sort it out. We'll privatise it. The other issue with the housing is, not recently, but the problem seems to be that nowadays houses aren't just somewhere to live. They become a pension and they become a source of income for people, and that sort of mindset needs to be changed. A house should be somewhere where you live. It's not something that you're looking to see how much it's worth. Yeah.
I mean, why do you think people are looking at houses like that now, I mean, have they not always looked at housing like that as a great investment and an opportunity to sort of make money?
Yeah, people have done that for a while, but it's become, it's far too, it's now people who own homes, particularly people who own multiple homes, they're reluctant to see other people being able to own their own homes because it will devalue theirs. So therefore they don't want a mass building of new houses because it will mean it's all the law of supply and demand, and because they're the people who are in power, they're the one who's dealing with the supply, and they're cutting off the supply.
But isn't the whole system about to collapse though? Because from my point of view, we struggle to find people for the amount of money that we can pay to actually do the jobs that we want them to do, and I think that's the case not just in the NHS but everywhere. So I mean, what's going to happen when if the house prices keep going up? What's going to happen to all these people that are pretty much, they've got no extra money to pay to rent? So are they just going to all leave London, and then what's going to happen to London? Well, is it just privatisation? You think that's what?
Yeah, I mean, do you have an opinion on? I mean, 5 years from now, how do you imagine London to be? 5-10 years from now. I mean, how do you imagine your area, Peckham? What do you think it's going to look like?
Well, London itself is just going to be full of robots and rich people, because everything's going to become mechanised, everything's going to be automated, and we're talking about driverless cars, so that'd be the death of any sort of minicab or black cab trade. Any sort of couriering will be gone. Vast amounts of jobs are going to go.
So come and join us. We're talking about housing in Southwark. Do you live in Southwark? What do you think about there, where you live? So you're saying it's all going to become virtual. You're not even going to have like taxis anymore. There's not going to be really jobs for people and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can walk in any of the supermarkets in this centre, you'll find automated tills. I won't use them. Why? It should be the people need to work. People need jobs. And they need to get an income. And I think that the problem is the people at the top don't really see that. They just think, well, I don't care. You're here to make me as much money as possible, and I don't care.
Is there any way we can make the people at the top listen to us? Is there ways that we can make the people at the top listen to us? What do you think about housing in Southwark? Is it affordable? Do you see your future here? So, you spoke about technology and how everything's being, technologized, if that's a word. Is there a way that we can use technology to kind of create some changes? Is there a way we can use technology to make housing more affordable? Or tackle a lot of the things that you're going through as a resident of Southwark or London.
Technology should be able to make things more affordable. Things need to be more energy efficient so that the bills aren't so high. But then all that happens is the companies will increase their prices because they want to maintain their profits. Building materials should become easier and cheaper to produce. So buildings should be cheaper to build houses. But it's just not going to happen because, as I say, the people at the top are the ones making the money out of it. So they're controlling things. You've only got to look at the way any politician who tries to buck the trend, people like Jeremy Corbyn, they just get properly assassinated in the press. It's just.
So you're saying that the media has an impact on.
Well, there is something to do, because I personally think Jeremy Corbyn has managed to get this. I don't think that he would have got the support that he's got if it wasn't for the internet and him being. So I'm wondering if that could actually bring more power to people just by them being able to voice them what they've got to say on the internet more. Could that actually be a way to make the voice of ordinary people stronger?
Quite interesting.
That's because that's the independent media. But if you look at things like the newspapers and the TV companies and things like that, these are controlled by the very same people, and they're not going to cut their own throats. So they will use huge slurs and all kinds of things like that. So now there is a real battle on things like Facebook and on the internet for the hearts and minds of people.
Are you doing anything to sort of change the situation that many Londoners are living in? Like, are you sort of part of any sort of campaign groups, or are you talking to people about the things that you're going through? Is there space for you to talk about the things that you're going through, or is it something that an issue that you're dealing with alone?
I'm not exactly going through anything. I'm perfectly fine. I've got somewhere to live. It's not ideal, but I've got somewhere to live. I've got a job, pays reasonably well, so I'm fine with all that. I am a union member, and I am interested in getting more involved in the union as well. Getting maybe into a position to actually do something about some of the things that are happening. But yeah, it's a big problem.
On a positive note, like, what positive things do you see about the changes? You've been here all your life, right? So what are some of the positive things about Southwark and things that you'll tell people that's good about the area?
I suppose, what could you say? What's good about Southwark? There's areas of which are very, very nice, very historic. I do like the historic side of things. As I say, it's got a lot safer. It's a lot nicer, more pleasant. bit brighter around a lot of places. People seem to be getting along more so with each other.
Do you think you can be healthy in Southwark? Do you think it's a healthy borough? Are you encouraged to sort of be healthy or inspired to be active mentally, physically?
I suppose within reason, you know, we do have certain facilities. There's a gym and all that malarkey, you know, libraries and stuff like that, which have managed to survive the cuts so far. How long that will go on, who knows? Health-wise, yeah, I mean, you can eat healthily if you wish, because that's something that seems to become more of a trend these days. It's happening a whole lot more.
And do you think, like, what about when you're not well? I mean, and you call your local GP, do you find it quite easy to sort of get an appointment at your local GP? Or do you work for an NHS, so that means that it's sort of different for you?
Well, my GP is generally okay. I don't usually have to wait an awful long time to see my GP. But there are, you know, you do hear stories of others having to wait weeks and weeks. But usually mine's okay, I would say, yeah.
That's really interesting to hear, actually. You know, a lot of people have spoken about the fact that it has become safer. You know, there's less crime, you know, less gangs and stuff like that. What other things would you like to see improved about, apart from like the making it more affordable, you know, building affordable housing? Like, what other things would you like to see? Is there enough green spaces? Is there enough libraries?
Well, I mean, I can think of two libraries. There's one just outside here, and then there's the other one at Peckham. So I think library-wise, we seem to be fairly well stocked up. I wouldn't say there's anything that we're desperately lacking. It always, as I say, working in the NHS, it always does worry me when you hear the headlines about various hospitals being so far in the red and so on and so forth. So that's a little bit.
Just one second. Come and join us. This is Talkaoke. We're talking about Southwark, housing, health, and the NHS. I mean, what do you think about these topics? But yeah, no. So it does worry you. And what about for future generations? What do you think life will be like for them? You know, how will it differ from when you were growing up to when the younger sort of generation, you know, are currently growing up? How do you think it will be how do you think it will be different?
I suppose it can go one or two ways. They could all live happier lives, healthier lives, not have to be stuck working in a job that they don't like for weeks and weeks and weeks and hours and hours and hours due to automation. But at the same time, they could end up very, very poor and desperately struggling to get any sort of work because of automation. And unfortunately, human nature tells me that it's more likely to be the second than it is to be the first, because the people in power want to stay in power, and they want to continue making as much as they possibly can. I'm going to have to.
And in terms of your actual home itself, like, if there's, are you under Southwark Council, or is it a housing association, or do you own your own home?
It's Southwark Council.
And when you sort of need help, when you have any repairs or maintenance, do you find it easy to sort of like get things repaired, or what's the communication like? How good is the communication with your local council?
It can be a bit patchy, to be fair. When we need repairs done, you call them, and most of the time it's okay. One of the issues we have is a lot of it that go online and do this and do that, and you've got the automated telephone things and all that, and it just drives you a little bit crazy sometimes. I'd like to be able to speak to a human being rather than have to press 1 15 times and all that nonsense and then get cut off halfway through anyway.
So you want more sort of like personal, like you want to be able to speak to someone physical rather than having to go through a robot.
Yeah.
Okay. And but do things get resolved? Do issues sort of get resolved? Are you part of like a tenants association, or?
Not part of any tenants association, but I mean, again, to be fair, we do get the repairs done. The repairs do get done. So, yeah, sometimes we have had issues in the past, and it's taken an awful long time to get something done. But sometimes you have to cheat a little bit, and you'll find a way around it. So.
No, that's quite a good thing to. Do you guys live in Southwark? How long have you actually lived here for? How long have you lived in Southwark? Give us a minute of your time. I'm a bit cold here. I need to be a bit helped to warm it 20 years. 20 years, thank you so much. I really appreciate your... Do you have any final thoughts before you leave us?
Just let's hope things get better. Let's hope things get more affordable, because otherwise there's going to be an almighty crash coming, and it's not going to be pretty when it does come.
Oh gosh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Wow. So that some really interesting conversations. I mean, you know, I'm gonna try and get some more people. Hey, do you live in? What were you guys doing in the range? What did you guys go in there for? Are you buying your Christmas presents? Are you buying things for your neighbours? Come on, I'm feeling cold, man. Keep me warm. I'm lonely here. You just gonna leave me? That doesn't matter.
You got me, Ellen. But I'm not enough, I know, to warm you up. I don't know, mate. I've got a feeling it's winding, unless we can get maybe these people just to come and just have a final. It's about 4:30. But I think it might be that unless we can get some last. Maybe.
Hey guys, do you guys live in Southwark? Come and join us. Warm me up. I'm cold here. Help me. Where are you getting the train towards? You know, where are you going?
I think they're going to Surrey Quays station, and they're, you know, if there's a Jubilee line train, the next one is going to be in at least 3 minutes' time.
Do you guys live in Southwark? Do you live in Surrey? Come and join us. Give us a minute of your time. What's life like living here? Or what brought you here today?
Oh, I'm here to bowl with my friends.
Oh wow! So there's bowling here. Oh wow! Have you come to this area before? Or?
Oh yeah, I've got quite a number of friends living around here.
Yeah. And would you like to live in Southwark?
Yeah, quite convenient.
Yeah, where do you live now?
Oh, Limehouse.
Okay. East London?
Yeah.
And how does Limehouse compare to Southwark? Do you think you'd prefer to sort of live in a house in Southwark?
Okay.
Or any, you know, Surrey Quays, Peckham?
I think there are more shops around here. Limehouse is just purely residential. Well, I mean here, yeah, we've got big shops. Yeah, open space.
There's more cafes and bars in that area though. Like there's that fancy new one that's opened up next to the station, which is, yeah, of course I do. Which I don't know if you've been to that one. Would you like to see more kind of craft beer and stuff like that, and cafes and things like that, or is that not really your thing?
Well, I'm not really into craft beers, but I'm into bars, but yeah. Well, so there's probably, you know, it's fine. Yeah, it's pretty fine. The shops are great here, I don't know.
So do you think that having good shops is a really important thing to have in a community?
Yeah, totally, and a good gym as well. Just everything in one space, you know, in one area, within my reach, and then, yeah, the Jubilee line is really convenient, right?
Yeah. So is Limehouse on there? Hey, do you live in Southwark? Come and join us. Tell us about it. Tell us about Southwark.
We've got Canary Wharf. What's wrong with Canary Wharf? Hasn't that got just as many shops? I mean, not wanting to sort of big up the Tower Hamlets, but I mean, there's nothing.
It's just a bit soulless, really.
I think I have to agree with you there. Yeah. Canary Wharf has always been a bit soulless, you know. Thank you so much for your time. Do you live in Southwark? Go and give us a minute of your time.
One thing that's interesting, Ellen, is that this is a shopping centre and it's like quite a commercial space. It's interesting how this could be compared to Canary Wharf, which is seen as soulless. In a way, if you look at the place, it looks very similar. So what is it about here that gives it that more of that feeling? Maybe some of the other people on the table could just help us achieve some closure on this subject, like Ray and Lynn. I mean, what do you think about that? Oh, okay. Well, this is one question, because compared here, Surrey Quays Shopping Centre has been called soulful compared to Canary Wharf, which is soulless. What is it that makes this place more soulful than Canary Wharf? Just a quick question. I know you're in the middle of a conversation, but I think that's interesting that people come from Canary Wharf here because Canary Wharf is soulless.
I think it's because people, this is a community in its own right. I think that this is where people live, and I think Canary Wharf is seen as sort of like a bit like a ghost town. The office workers go home and it's deserted. There's still a heart here. Yeah. So it's like people are quite happy to come in. I mean, I don't think it's the biggest shopping centre, but people like to come here, have a stroll around. It's quite chilled here. There's really good parking facilities, and I think that all helps people. And it's like they've got a good range of shops. Free Christmas grotto for the children. It's free. How many places do you go and get anything free nowadays? So
somebody was saying earlier that like the gym is free Friday, Saturdays and Sundays, and I was just like, wow, that is so good. If you live in the borough, yeah. And I thought, how great would it be if every borough kind of had that? I mean, I'd go to the gym more.
There's nothing like that in Lambeth where I live, and yeah, if there was something, I would definitely use it.
Yeah, just to add on to just point, I think, you know, particularly in this area, what people like is the familiarity of it. You know, they like sort of the cohesiveness about it. Like, you look around, everyone's very diverse, but yeah, you know, it's a community. Everyone's, you know, getting on with their day to day, and they don't feel like, you know, they're the odd one in the crowd. It's because it's very diverse. You know, people just going about their daily day. So yeah, so it's great.
Quite busy actually.
I just want to ask Ray, can I get my bank statement sent around to your house so that I can claim a free Southwark gym membership? Because we don't get that either in Hackney, where I live, or Tower Hamlets, where I work. So yeah, we've got to do something about it, and that's the only thing I can think of.
I might try and sort of get in there as well, you know.
In Southwark, if you work for the council, you get it.
Does this qualify?
Hitch on it, hitch on it. Right.
You can get one.
Do you live in the borough? What part of Southwark do you live in?
So I live in literally, well, like near Borough, basically, to Borough Station. So I've lived there for well, I was born in Guy's Hospital, so I lived there all my life, basically. But I moved away 3 years ago to university, so I lived in Brighton. So I've only just come back a couple months ago. And although most things are the same, you kind of notice how, you know, much things can change over the past 3 years, which is why it's particularly important to, you know, get feedback from residents, such as myself. So, you know, they are consulted on changes. So, like, when they do come back, they're not oblivious to all these changes that are happening, because, you know, like, no one wants to feel, you know, like, ostracized from their community. Do you know what I mean?
Do you feel part of your community? You know, do you feel part of the community in Southwark? Hey, how's it going? Hey, what's your name?
Natalia.
Natalia, where do you live?
I live at Elliot Bank.
Wow, is that in Peckham or Surrey Quays?
Lewisham.
Oh, that's so cool. What do you love about living in Southwark? Oh, did you say you live in Lewisham? Wow, so what do you like about Yeah, so you've come to visit the shopping centre today?
Yeah.
What do you like about this shopping centre?
I like the Christmas stuff.
Yeah, so you really like Christmas?
Did you go to the Christmas grotto? Did you?
What did you think of it?
Can I just say, did you meet Santa Claus, and did you have a conversation, and what did you say in the conversation?
You're not allowed to say it, we can't shoot.
Fair enough.
That's private and confidential information. I'm sorry to potentially expose you. But do you not have anything like this in Lewisham? Do you have a Santa's Grotto in Lewisham or anything like that? Nothing? Is this better than Lewisham, would you say, this round here?
What that is...
Just about
What was he going to say?
Nothing.
Do you think you'd like to move to this shopping centre?
Yeah.
One of the things, because Rick's screens are off, we were getting Rick to visualise could you live in this shopping centre? Because one of the things we were talking about earlier on was this could be turned into a luxury apartment for young people. So would that work, do you think?
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Have a lovely Christmas. Bye. Bye. Wow, so What interesting conversation we've gone through today. I've had so much fun talking about Christmas to housing to everything. It's been amazing. It's been absolutely amazing. You know?
Have you got a highlight?
Wow, my mind is just buzzing right now. I'm just processing.
I think my highlight is I love the fact that people who live in the area feel safer with some of the regeneration that's gone on. I think that's a real positive. I think that everybody seems to recognise there's a housing issue, and it seems to be one of the #1 priorities. That's my highlight.
I mean, we've been sitting around talking to people, not just in Southwark, but all through London, and it was a big issue 5 or 6 years ago. It's an even bigger issue now, and it's just getting bigger and bigger. So it is something that inevitably something needs to be done about, and it's just a question of how and what can be done. And I wonder if there are any easy solutions to it. I don't know, but anyway, it has been a very much big food for thought day. Well, I think we have to say thank you to Fabio. Have you got a final thought, Fabio, at the end of the day? A final thought?
Final thought, let's feel responsible of the place where we live and enjoy all of these moments to encourage people to have a dinner together like tonight we're going to have. And yes, let's keep listen between us and speaking.
Yeah. I think what I got out of this today, a lot of people value the people of Southwark. And Southwark is not just the buildings, but the people. And also today, as a people, we're going to be sitting around eating and drinking together later, and we're having our little Christmas dinner tonight. Yes. And that, I think that just says it all. It's all about the people, really. Yeah.
What's been your highlight?
My highlight today has been basically just seeing a unity between everyone. With things like this, you kind of come in with like a understanding that it's cold. Not much people are going to stop, but you get surprised how much people are quite interested in the impact that certain changes are having on their community, and just seeing that sort of resonate in terms of how many people decided to engage in this today. It's a nice feeling to know that we're doing our job in terms of we're meeting the specific criteria that residents need, and it's nice to know that this is a concern that are on other residents' minds. So it's nice that we're addressing the challenges we face in our community. So it's been great.
Thank you. And I think one of my highlights thinking about has been the fact that there's so much things for young people to do. Yeah. That's been really great to sort of find out. Yeah. So.
Have you got a final? We're just about to start. Have you got a final thought for us? Come in.
Yeah. Are you from Southwark?
Yes.
Tell us a little.
Oh, okay. Sure. Okay.
We're just about to close, but we can get one more.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh my gosh, this is loud. Lived in Bermondsey pretty much for most of my life, so it's been good to see the change. I've seen one building become a school, another type of school, and a third type of school. So which goes to show growth and change. There's some like new Sainsbury's. There's also some resistance to change. I think co-ops moved into the area and then were moved out by Poundland. So clearly, not too expensive for some people, but it goes to show that the area is changing, it's developing, and it's showing up.
And do you feel a part of the change?
Oh yeah. So I was part of I forgot what it's called, but some safer, greener, cleaner application form, trying to change my area to become more inclusive and safer for children to play around. So cool.
Thank you so much. Do you have a question?
No, let's just get up. So we didn't get your name, and let's just get a final thought. I mean, because what we summed up today, a lot of people have been saying this is a great area, and that certain things have improved, like crime, opportunities, but what hasn't improved is house prices and the commercialisation of the area. Is there any way you can sort of like, what if you could do one thing to improve this area, what would it actually be? And moving forward, is there a way to actually have all of this positive change without having to pay through the nose for it?
I would say a more sort of integrated community activities to continue and to be ongoing, so that everyone knows who their neighbours are. So that would be great. I'm not entirely sure about the housing prices. It is what it is. I guess it just means that for some of us, it's just sort of trying to get a fair access to being able to buy a house. So that's what I would change, I guess.
Thank you so much. Great, thank you. That was absolutely fantastic. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye-bye.